Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to make a Inukshuk stone man from mortar and boxes. If you're new to this channel, subscribe for all new videos and click the notification bell to be notified for all new videos. Let's begin. I thought this would be a great artwork piece for my backyard, and they can get expensive to buy, so I decided to make one. So all I did is I started collecting these small boxes around my home to use for molds. As you can see, the inside of the box does have a line, so I'm just lining it with another piece of cardboard so I don't have that line in the arm part. Once I have both boxes lined, I'll put them together. You want to tape them together, and then I went ahead and cut out an inner portion so they bond together. Again, now that I know how it worked out, you actually want to make this piece a little bit bigger so it bonds more so it doesn't fall apart. And this will be the boxes for the arms going across. Next, I'm just using another box that I coated in tape. This will be for the hip section. I created another part for the belly, and this is going to be the head. So I cut down the box, and then we're just going to fold it down and tape it together. I'm just using packing tape. You can either use packing tape or duct tape. Taping the boxes just gives it extra support when you pour in the wet concrete or mortar. Then I just stack the boxes to make sure this is the size I want and the way I want to stack it. Once I'm happy with what I see, then we can start the project. So I'm just going to be using type S mortar. I found this to be the easiest to work with. Things you'll need are gloves, a drill, a paint mixer, a pail, and a shovel. And of course, your molds. You can also make this with proper molds or wood. I'm not that crafty with cutting wood, so I'm stuck with boxes. So if you see my previous video on making stepping stones, it's the same process, just by adding some mortar into a pail, adding water, and mixing till the right consistency. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too runny. I'll link that video up in the cards. Once you have your mortar all mixed up, it's time to fill your boxes. I made enough to fill each box separately, so my mortar didn't dry out too fast. Once your mold is full, you want to bang it down and tap it to get all the air bubbles out of your container. Also to flatten the top surface a bit. Now because we're using cardboard, the cardboard does get soft, so I'm putting extra tape on the sides to support the sides better, so they don't bulge out. Without the tape, your box will fall apart, and you'll have a mess. Now if you just wanted to make your mortar smoother, I'm just using a drywall scraper. When done, just push it aside and move on to the next piece. Just rinsing off my shovel into the pail and using that water for the next mortar. If you're brave and want to move faster, you can mix more. This will save you time on so much mixing. So I'm just going to fast forward the video as I fill the other boxes. So I also made a bird bath using the same process with boxes. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage for that, but I do have photos. So I'll link that video in the cards showing what it looked like. It was pretty much the same process as this Inukshuk. Now that because this box is a little thinner of a box, I'm going to push it in between the firmer boxes. This will help the sides be more square than having a belly, because the boxes absorb the moisture and start to warp. As you can see, it keeps it together better. The last part to fill is the head. Again, taping the sides so it doesn't bulge. Now you want to leave this dry at least a day before we start assembling. So we'll come back when it's dry. Now that it's the next day and they're dry, it's time to remove the cardboard. You can see they're not quite fully dried, but that's okay, because we still have to put it together. Now that we have all the cardboard off, it's time to sand them down. Just using a number 5 wood sander, I picked this item up at Home Depot. It will do the job for sanding down the corners and making marks in the mortar. So I'm just using an old baking sheet to catch the particles that we sand off. Because we want to make this stone man look a little bit more worn down. So we're going to rough up the edges and also all of the sides. This does take a bit of time, so you can do it if you want to. I'm doing it to make it look like it's been out in the weather a little longer. Once you're done, it's time to put them together. So just mixing up some more mortar along with the stuff that I found right here. It's called bonding adhesive. You can find this stuff at Home Depot. It's just to help to bond your concrete together. Okay, so it's time to stack them. So here are the two legs. I'm just going to put some mortar on top of both of the legs and put on the hips. Now I didn't think of it then, but before putting on the mortar, I should have wetted the stones a bit. This would have helped for better bonding. You can see it is a little bit wobbly, so you want to make sure you're on a flat surface. Once you have it lined up and where you want it, just scrape away the rest of the mortar that's sticking out, just to clean it up a bit. That's why it's also a good idea to have either a sheet down or cardboard for any of the pieces that drop. So here I'm just putting on the belly part. Next it's time to put on the arms. Now unfortunately, because that gap that I showed you when we were making the boxes wasn't big enough, my arms did fall apart. That's why it's a better idea to make it a little bit thicker of a bond, so yours doesn't fall apart. You could put a metal rod inside, and that would give it extra stability. Also, I didn't think about this either, but if I would have had extra support for the arms, they wouldn't droop at all. But that's okay, gives it extra character. And now that that is done and together, you want to leave it dry for at least a day or two. The longer you leave it dry, the better it'll bond together. I'm actually quite proud of the little stone man I made out of boxes. He will be a great piece for my backyard. I ended up moving him into my backyard before he was fully dry. And here he is dry. Cute little stone man. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And click the notification bell for all new videos. Look forward to more videos on mortar and crafty ideas, as I will be doing a few more projects this summer. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.